Yes, mostly welcome to all of you who are following this channel. As usual, we are going to talk about sports news which are trending around over the world. This time, we are going to start from Liverpool's player. Dominic Soboslai's fiancée proud as she is spotted at Anfield. Borka Buziski supported Soboslai and Liverpool from the stands as the side were knocked out of the Champions League by PSG. Borka Buziski sent a supportive message to Dominic Soboslai last night. Dominic Soboslai's fiancé issued a defiant message as Liverpool exited the Champions League last night. The Hungarian midfielder started for the Reds, but the side were knocked out of the competition by French side PSG at Anfield. Soboslai was key to Liverpool's strong start in the game, but a goal from PSG winger Ousmane Dembele after 12 minutes put the tie level on aggregate. Liverpool finished the 90 minutes as the better side, but they struggled in the extra time. They were eventually defeated 4-1 on penalties after Darwin Núñez and Curtis Jones missed their spot kicks. Soboslai scored during the match, but it was ruled out for offside. He was taken off in the second half of extra time for fellow midfielder Harvey Elliott. Away from the pitch, Soboslai is engaged to Hungarian influencer Borka Buziski. Borka is also a graduate of Corvinus University of Budapest, a private research university which primarily focuses on business, administration, economics, and social sciences. Borka was in the stands at Anfield on Wednesday cheering her partner on, sharing a picture on her Instagram story of the two teams before the game kicked off. After the game finished, she then shared a picture of Soboslai from the official Liverpool FC account. Borka Buziski watched the game from the stands, expressing her support for Soboslai despite the disappointing result. Borka said, "Always proud of you." She added a red love heart emoji. Borka went public with her relationship with the Liverpool footballer back in July last year after Hungary's exit from the Euros in the group stages. She shared several pictures of her and Soboslai together as they enjoyed a sun-filled holiday on the Amalfi coast in Italy. Less than 4 months later, Soboslai announced he had proposed to Borka and she had accepted. Taking to Instagram, he shared the exciting news with his 2.6 million followers as his fiancée flashed her ring at the camera. Last month, the pair ditched the UK as they enjoyed a romantic getaway to Paris. Borka made an Instagram post showing her and Soboslai smiling with the Eiffel Tower lit up in the background. She captioned the post, "You," followed by a red love heart emoji. Soboslai then replied in the comments, leaving a red love heart emoji. Despite the Champions League disappointment, Liverpool are still 15 points clear in the Premier League. Their next game is on Sunday, where they will face with Newcastle United at Wembley in the Carabao Cup final. Yes, now let's go to another story. Mohamed Salah destroyed by French media after PSG sent Liverpool crashing out of Champions League. The winger was unable to score during last night's match at Anfield. Mohamed Salah received a brutal 4 out of 10 rating from French newspaper L'Equipe following Liverpool's Champions League exit against Paris Saint-Germain on Tuesday. The Egyptian forward was singled out for criticism after the Reds were knocked out on penalties in the round of 16 second leg at Anfield. L'Equipe, known for their harsh marking, highlighted Salah's dismal display as Liverpool's European campaign came to an end despite a strong performance. The French outlet was particularly scathing in their assessment, claiming that Salah was annihilated by PSG defender Nuno Mendes on the right flank. Mohamed Salah received a brutal 4 out of 10 rating from French newspaper L'Equipe Following Liverpool's Champions League exit against Paris Saint-Germain on Tuesday, overall, Salah was annihilated as in the first leg by Nuno Mendes, losing a considerable number of duels against him. The newspaper wrote. They noted that the Liverpool's star lost possession a struggle. Men's impressively intercepted after Dominic Soboslai's delivery. The match changed when Ousmane Dembele found the net in the 12th minute following a mix-up between Ibrahima Konate and Alisson. Despite Liverpool's solid second-half performance, the game went to penalties, which the French side ultimately won. L'Équipe celebrated PSG's comeback victory with a front page declaring, "Superheroes." Salah wasn't the only Liverpool player to receive harsh treatment from L'Équipe, with Diogo Jota also handed a 4 out of 10 rating. The Portuguese forward was criticized for showing nervousness and clumsiness while winning just 2 of his 10 duels. Ryan Gravenberch completed the trio of Liverpool players given 4 out of 10, despite playing the entire 120 minutes. In contrast, Virgil van Dijk and Dominic Soboslai received the highest Liverpool's rating with 7 out of 10 each. Trent Alexander-Arnold, who left the pitch injured, was given 5 out of 10. PSG's players received glowing rating from the French publication in comparison. Mohamed Salah failed to score as Liverpool exited the Champions League to PSG last night. Mendes, who dominated Salah throughout the match, was awarded an 8 out of 10 rating. The Portuguese defender locked the right flank down, winning the most tackles and duels throughout the entire 120 minutes match. Gianluigi Donnarumma earned the highest rating of 9 out of 10 and was named as man of the match. The Italian goalkeeper was praised for taking risks and imposing himself on crosses, with the L'Équipe noting he was almost like an English goalkeeper. Yes, let us continue our news here in Manchester United, but before we continue, I would like to tell you, if you don't press to that button of subscribe, you may press on it and like and comment so that we will be together in other news. Man United told they have best chance to sign $50 million midfielder amid transfer chase. Latest Manchester United transfer news and gossip with an update on Atlanta midfielder Ederson, who has been linked with a move to Old Trafford. Ederson of Atlanta has been linked with Manchester United, have once again been linked with a move for Atlanta midfielder Ederson ahead of the summer transfer window. United still have around 3 months to wait before they are able to go into the transfer market for new signings. The Reds are currently in the 14th place in the Premier League table and are currently preparing to face Real Sociedad in the second leg of their Europa last 16 tie. Ruben Amorim and co will remain fully focused on matters on the pitch for the time being, especially given the implications of the fixture against Sociedad on Thursday night. Despite this, it seems that United already have plans in the place when the summer transfer window opens. According to Italian news outlet Calcio Mercato, United remain the favorites to sign Ederson from Atlanta. The report claims that Juventus have joined the list to sign the midfielder in the summer, but United also remain in the running. It has been reported that Juventus are crazy about signing Ederson but add that United are the most likely destination for the Brazilian. The report claims that United are the club with the best chance of being able to sign the Atlanta star at the end of the season. Ederson played a key role in helping Atlanta win the Europa League last season, with United reported to have already presented a $60 million, $50.6 million offer to the Italian club. The midfielder is contracted at the Serie A outfit until 2027, with talks over an extension being ongoing for some time, with no sign of an agreement being reached at this stage. The Brazilian was heavily linked with a move away from Atlanta last summer, with United reportedly one of several clubs interested in a deal. In the end, United opted to sign Emmanuel Ugarte from PSG, and it remains to be seen if Ederson remains a player on the club's wish list. Yes, let's go. In Manchester City, Manchester City told they can sign Pep's number one target for the bargain fee this summer, as a verbal pact revealed. Pep Guardiola may be very interested in a recent line from journalist Ben Jacobs regarding Newcastle United's Bruno Guimaraes, who has been a target for Manchester City all season. Going to the January transfer window, numerous reports stated that Newcastle United and Brazil midfielder Bruno Guimaraes, who has even been linked with Barcelona of late, City have seemingly retained their interest beyond January and ahead of the summer transfer window, which promises a lot of change to the playing squad at the Etihad Stadium. Midfielder in particular looks like it will see a lot of coming and going, with Guimaraes potentially one to come in and help replace the likes of Kevin De Bruyne, Ilkay Gundogan, and maybe even Jack Grealish, who could all move on. Guimaraes has an $100 million release clause at Newcastle United, which makes him an expensive signing for anyone who wants to bring him in. But the 27-year-old has held private talks with Guardiola this season. What exactly was said remains to be seen, but the City boss may well have been laying the groundwork for 2025 transfer. Man City targeted Bruno Guimaraes could leave Newcastle United in cut price deal. Speaking on Give Me Time's Sports Market Madness, journalist Ben Jacobs has been discussing the situation regarding Guimaraes at St. James Park and his future at the club, and what he has said could be of great interest to Guardiola, who could sign Guimaraes for much less than the $100 million he may have expected to have to pay, Jacobs said. Andrea Berta means that incoming Arsenal sporting director will put forward Bruno Guimaraes, who has been on Arsenal radar before and again. Newcastle are not going to sell Alexander Isak and Guimaraes, so there is a couple of aspects here that make it complicated. But the difference between Isak and Guimaraes is that Bruno Guimaraes has a verbal pact with Newcastle United that will allow him to leave for significantly south of the $100 million release clause that was active last summer. Jacobs went on add, and in the winter window, the number was in the region of $80 million. This summer, Bruno Guimaraes could be available for $60 million to $70 million to a Champions League club if Newcastle themselves also don't get Champions League football, and that is a verbal pact. What Bruno Guimaraes said about his talk with Pep Guardiola Soon after, it was revealed that Guimaraes and Guardiola had had a chat in private. The Newcastle man was quizzed on what was said between them. Guimaraes said of his chat with Guardiola early this season, "I know that Pep Guardiola likes my football. It is normal to have great coaches who admire your football. We have spoken once after the interview. I praised his work, he praised my work, but it was nothing more than that." For City, it seems like a deal for Guimaraes hangers on Newcastle not qualifying for the Champions League and Man City qualifying themselves. It would be a much cheaper deal for a player whose form has been questioned this season. Right now, Manchester City sit in the 5th place of the Premier League table, level on points with Newcastle United in the 6th. Chelsea are in the 4th and 2 points ahead. Meanwhile, there is just 3 points between City in 5th and Bournemouth down in 9th. Yes, let's continue our news in Manchester City. Pep Guardiola has been forced to bring Man City's future forward. This is what it looks like. Manchester City's style of play has drastically changed this season due to injuries, new signings, and a long-term shift in Pep Guardiola's tactics. Getting there hasn't been easy. Jeremy Doku has only 2 assists for Erling Haaland in 57 shared appearances. It sums up their tactical struggles this season. "I always move my hands on arms a lot. It's not just today," said Pep Guardiola, asked why he had his hands in the air when Nottingham Forest launched yet another counter against Manchester City at the weekend. Guardiola is right. He kicks every ball on the touchline, and he is as nervous as any other fan when the opposition launch a counter-attack. It is also right that it probably looks like Guardiola is more animated this season because City are conceding more chances, and when their famed attack is less potent, it's clear to see why the manager can't hide his nerves. Only Erling Haaland could master a rallying gesture as the Forest took a red on Saturday. The rest of City team had their heads down. They didn't believe they would come back to level, and neither did anybody else. Guardiola and his captain Ruben Dias insisted City controlled that game well enough and were simply undone on the transitions, but that in itself is a hard issue. A winger who doesn't find his striker. City looked toothless at Forest, and not for the first time this season. Their plan A wasn't working, and there was no obvious plan B to inject a spark into the performance. It tells of a story all too familiar this season. City are creating fewer chances and conceding more goals. However, their enforced style change doesn't offer a look at how Guardiola wants his side to play in the future. The manager, feared for his innovation, has been drawn towards an old tactic that he previously abandoned. 2 fast, skillful wingers and a poacher in the middle. It worked a treat when Leroy Sané and Raheem Sterling were putting it on a plate for Sergio Aguero, with runners arriving right from behind. It's not been quite as effective this season, though, even if Savinho and Jeremy Doku have shown glimpses of their ability to recreate the old SAS approaching with Haaland. Instead, Haaland has had to do almost of the heavy lifting for a tired side ravaged by injuries. The issue is that only of those wingers is actually turning creativity and chances into goals for Haaland. Of Savinho's 9 assists this season, 7 have been for Haaland. Doku has 2 assists for Haaland in 57 total games together over almost 2 seasons. That simply isn't good enough even if Doku has 7 total assists himself. Rodri's absence is a key to City's changing style this term. They are more open on the transitions and less effective in the press. A rickier defense compares statistics from this season's Premier League campaign to last season's, and they have already conceded more in 2024-2025, 38 than across the whole of last term, 34. It's a similar story in Europe and in the Cups. Last season they conceded 20 goals from open play. It's already 27 this term. Last season they conceded 7 on counter-attack, and it's already 4 this time around, while they have conceded the same number of penalties and set-piece goals, 3 each, as the whole of 2023-2024. Yet they are spending the same amount of time in their own third per game and less in the middle of the pack compared to the year before, despite conceding more. So their defense is less effective and more porous. More play on the flanks, fewer crosses going forward. City are scoring less, and when they do create chances, they are less clinical. Last season, they overperformed their expected goals total by almost 7 total goals in the league. This season, they are lagging behind the XG figure by 2 goals, a difference of 8 goals already, and the season isn't over. Without Rodri and with the addition of Savinho, more of City's play is going wide. They are dribbling more, relying on individual moments rather than the relentless passing Guardiola always calls for. Possession is down this term by almost 5% per game, with passing accuracy marginally down too. It all paints a picture of less control and more reliance on high-risk moments. Despite that, City are putting fewer crosses in per game this season, even if the balls they do put in from wide areas are more accurate. But when sending the ball wide for Doku or Savinho, or whoever is on the flanks, the system last season resulted in more fouls won and therefore more set-piece opportunities. City as a whole are targeting more pace and physicality in their future signings, and the youngsters highlighted by Guardiola's pivot towards his young wingers and away from the likes of Jack Grealish and Bernardo Silva. They must become more efficient in both boxes because Guardiola's direction of tactics appears clear. The journey to the system he wants won't be easy, as the season has shown, so the boss should probably prepare for more tense moments as he watches on from his area. Yes, let us end here this news. Make sure that you subscribe, press on like, share this news. See you. God bless you.